After the Champions League heartbreak, as Arsenal lost on the finest of margins in their first semi-final since 2009, Arsenal have been left trophyless. So with a massive inquest in the Arsenal fanbase, strong quotes from Mikel Arteta, today we'll break down what exactly happened in that game. Was Arteta right in saying that Arsenal were the better team? As well as finding out about the future, the plan of Andrea Berta, as well as Arsenal's first confirmed signing of the summer. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Basketball and welcome back to your boys channel. And look, I'm just here right now to talk about the Arsenal in a very painful manner because we're out of the Champions League. It's difficult, it's hard, I understand, but at the same time try to keep my head as well. Discuss where do Arsenal go next. So as per, smash a like on this video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're starting off with the Champions League heartbreak. Heartbreak is the word I'd use, and the reason why is because of those first 20 minutes. 1-0 down after the first leg in a game that was played on fine margins. Paris Saint-Germain scored a goal that was fantastic quality. Arsenal missed their chances. So come this game here, the pressure was definitely on, and Arsenal started with intent. From their Declan Rice chance right at the beginning, to Martinelli's chance from a long throw, Odegaard's shot from outside the box that was saved brilliantly. 3 massive opportunities to get Arsenal back into the game, but the fine margins went against us. So Mikel Arteta saying after the game, the best team lost in my view, especially after 160 minutes. I'm saying that, and they, the PSG bench, were saying that as well, because they told me. Now, Luis Enrique came out after and denied this quote, but as ever on this channel, we are going to look at the numbers. Over both legs, Arsenal had more expected goals, more shots from open play, slightly higher possession, nearly 70% of the field till, 99 final third entries, double of PSG's, but with a slightly lower expected threat created. The reason why I think those numbers are important is because it shows that Arsenal were in this game. Despite the public narrative going about, Arsenal were not outplayed by any means. So when you see stats after the game like this, the Martin Odegaard completed just one key pass in 180 minutes against PSG. I'm not going to pile on the Arsenal captain, and I'll tell you exactly why. Despite Odegaard being known as Arsenal's most creative player, in the second leg where Arsenal created an XG of 3.42, Arteta made a brave tactical switch. When the first leg PSG scored a goal with so much patience, pinging it back on the right hand side to find space on the left, then hurting Arsenal with a devastating goal. It was a goal all about fine margins. A chance that I would not describe as massive. A moment of brilliance and a magic moment that we so often see defines the Champions League. Come the second leg, Mikel Arteta had learned and he had made a change, shown perfectly by the use of Yuri and Timber. A heat map showing him playing far higher on the right hand side, with 2 key passes, 1 big chance created. Look at the Arsenal build-up phase and you notice straight away, Odegaard is playing in the back 3, and Timber is playing alongside Bukayo Saka, allowing himself to drag Mendes out of position, finding more space for Bukayo Saka. It was a clever tactic that was working to a T, because in the opening 20 minutes were Arsenal pressing amazing, in a game that we caused 9 high turnovers, 2 that led to a shot, compared to PSG's only 1. Look at the chances that Arsenal had inside the box, in the most high XG area. Odegaard not even being creative. Arteta had made a change by using Timber to platform Bukayo Saka. Martin Odegaard was not being used as our main creator. So in a game where if the fine margins had gone in Arsenal's favour, Donnarumma didn't pull off the worldies, we didn't concede to a deflective volley, we would be saying that Mikel Arteta got us tactically spot on. And that's why I think it's very important to talk about when you think about the current narrative. Many Arsenal fans, of course, that will be emotional, but after 180 minutes against one of the best teams in Europe, a team now in a Champions League final, I don't think the issue was Mikel Arteta. Not only did Arsenal learn from the first leg, but go into the Parc des Princes producing 20 shots and so many chances. As Pep Guardiola famously once said, "My job is taking you to the final third, and your job is to finish." When you then look at Arsenal's XG for and against, over this entire Champions League campaign, defensively Arsenal have been amazing, with some very high XG games going forwards. Compare that to one of the finalists in Inter Milan, and you'll see that is a lot more spaced out. Then the idea of getting to a Champions League final, our first since 2006, with a central midfielder playing up front. When watching this game, I didn't question the Arsenal players' work rate. The desire was clear to be seen. The way they press off the ball, the way they pin PSG in, I was more questioning our quality. So over 2 legs where Arsenal had an XG of over 5, but scored only 1 goal, PSG scoring 3 from 3. With the score at 2-1, Bukayo Saka misses this chance. Despite creating more than any other team of all the 4 teams in the semi-finals, we were shown the importance of ball striking quality. Look at the PSG goals and look at the quality of chances. None of them were major opportunities. That, my friends, is the Champions League for you. Look at last year's final, Borussia Dortmund had so many chances. Tactically spot on, outplaying Real Madrid. The quality of Vinicius, Carvajal won that game. The prime example of stats are one thing, but there's only so much you can compensate. This is what Arsenal and Mikel Arteta have to learn. Well, in the summer of 2023, Pep Guardiola made a massive change, letting go of key players like Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling, signing Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez, players that I would define as XG cheaters, with the ability to score goals from low quality chances. You then look at who Arsenal had on their bench. 18-year-old Ethan Nwaneri. He's got an ability to score from outside the box. I was disappointed that he was not used a single minute. Yes, I get that taking off your captain and Martin Odegaard may have been difficult, but why not use Odegaard and Nwaneri together? You're chasing a game, you need goals. Surely at one point you can sacrifice a little bit of control to add a little bit of chaos. We can talk about signing a brand new striker and what impact it may have had. Watching a PSG team that have Gonzalo Ramos on the bench, a £65 million centre forward, with Desiree Doué as a striker in the second game and Dembele in the first leg. Strikers don't have to be your only means of goals. For me, Arsenal across the entire front line need to improve the quality of finishing. But as Mikel Arteta said after the game, the goalkeeper won the game for them. You can't sit here and say that PSG utterly dominated, when for many people their best player was the goalkeeper. From the save on Trossard back in the first leg, to Odegaard in this game, and a wonderful save on Bukayo Saka. When you then look at Arsenal and David Raya in goal, a fantastic goalkeeper that has so many of the basic fundamentals, I don't think he would have saved those chances. Because in Donnarumma, what you have is a 6'5" freak. Raya, despite being fantastic at making the most of what he has, the likes of Courtois and Donnarumma are always going to have an advantage because of their God-gifted powers. For as much as Mikel Arteta has talked about winning the game in both boxes, the reason why PSG have gone through is because their box quality was superior, as well as having more fear factor. With the front three of Kvara, Doué and Barcola, Ousmane Dembele and Ramos off the bench, for Arsenal, apart from Bukayo Saka, which other forward had that same level of fear factor? As Saka went from scoring at the Bernabeu to also scoring at the Parc des Princes, becoming only the second ever Arsenal player behind Thierry Henry to score more than 5 goals in a single Champions League campaign. This for me is where Arsenal have to address this summer. Bukayo Saka may be your Batman, but where on earth is his Robin? Look at right wingers across the world and focus on Lamine Yamal, a forward that also gets heavily man-marked, has to face multiple players time and time again. But when you look at that Barcelona side and how many players they have around him, whether the goal-scoring aspect of Rafinha, the ability of Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, as things stands, Bukayo Saka is our only world-class attacker, the only Arsenal player able to provide a moment, with the rest severely lacking in quality. And the worrying stat is this, the fact that Arsenal have now failed in the last 4 major semi-finals to get a single win. From the Europa League back in 2020 to the League Cup in 2021, this year's League Cup and the Champions League. There's a very clear issue when you focus on this year's Cup exits. From an XG of 4.79 against Newcastle, 0 goals scored, to 3.22 against Man United, and only 1 goal scored, 5.11 against PSG, and once again only 1 goal scored. The problem is not the fact that Arsenal can't produce moments in these big games, it's the fact that we brought a knife through a gunfight. Forwards that we've seen over the past 2 seasons failed to take their chances in the biggest games. The issue is not commitment, it is a matter of quality. There's only so much that Mikel Arteta can do to compensate tactically. He can give you the advantages, he can give you the overloads, but all of that means nothing if you don't take advantage. But after the game, according to Declan Rice, it has been very tough. We've done the whole season without 5 or 6 of our best players, so to do that and what we have done is unbelievable. Which again caused controversy, but you cannot deny the stats. We can actually make an entire 11 from this season, with more than 10 outfield players this season, missing over 7 games or more. Some players that Arsenal fans may not rate, but they definitely had an impact. You think about Kai Havertz, a player that's been scapegoated so many times. We'll go back to the PSG game early in the season, and Havertz was a major reason behind why Arsenal won that game 2-0. But at the same time, I totally get the mentality. We are tired of saying let's go again next season. How many more times do Arsenal fans have to trust this process? But ultimately this is football. No matter how much right now you sit here and go, I cannot watch Arsenal anymore, having watched us back in 8th place back-to-back years, struggled to even get in the Champions League in the first place, I can sure as hell assure you right now, most of us will be back next season, hopefully after a strong transfer window, with a level of growing belief once again. Winning the Champions League has never been easy, and all you have to do is look at Paris Saint-Germain, knocked out in last year's semi-final by Borussia Dortmund, not making a single final since 1920, despite having Neymar, Mbappe and Messi. For Arsenal, despite all the current negatives, the positive is that compared to last year, not only have Arsenal gotten to a stage further, but when you think of that Bayern Munich game, with Arsenal looking toothless in the second leg, as shown by all the numbers, this year in all our major exits has been a key difference. We've made the chances and opportunities, but we've completely failed to take them. So my urge to most Arsenal fans is clear. Right now we're emotional, it's so difficult, it's so painful, but don't fall for the childish games. We could talk about Chelsea getting to a final or Man United or Spurs. I'm not going to sit and compare our seasons to teams that are playing in competitions that we were too good to play in the first place. Focus more on Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, United in the FA Cup, and Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. Our goal is not to win the Europa League or Conference League, it's to win the Champions League and Premier League. As painful as the next few weeks are definitely going to be, the club have to use this moment, a chance to reflect and go again, because come next year you can put all the context on the table and put all the stats, but no one is going to care, unless us Arsenal fans are celebrating a piece of major honour. So moving on to Andrea Berta's plan. After Arsenal reached a Champions League final for the first time since 2009, earning 170 million euros. The budget for the summer has only gotten bigger. So after a major update from Sami Mokbel, confirming that Arsenal will look to offload left-back Alexander Zinchenko this summer, the goal for Andrea Berta is clear as day. Build around the likes of Bukayo Saka, the strong foundation of Saliba, Rice and Gabriel. Give this team the attacking quality it's dying of. There's interesting clubs from Saudi Arabia in Leandro Trossard, who has just 1 year left on his contract. His departure would pave the way for a new left winger coming in. Arsenal have a host of targets that we've talked about, whether it's Jamie getting to Borussia Dortmund, the potential availability of Rodrigo at Real Madrid. According to the reliable David Ornstein, Arsenal's interest in Nico Williams is well documented, but they also like Anthony Gordon. I have no information on Rodrigo, and there will be other options. I'm not sure we should expect a quick fix for this position. The striker remains the priority. Williams has been a standout option for so long, with the likes of the reliable hand of Arsenal already confirming that so much work has gone on behind the scenes to convince the player to leave Spain and come to England. There was that recent performance against Man United. Many fans not left impressed, but the fact that he wasn't even fully fit, the fact that he missed his second leg, I'm not going to judge my basement over one single game. This is a wide forward that tore up Euro 2024, scored a goal in the final to win Spain the tournament, but Gordon's also a very intriguing option. Despite signing a brand new contract this season, the fact that Arsenal keeps on getting linked via many reliable sources, does that mean that Arsenal see an opportunity, a chance to sign a left winger who has got 9 goals and 7 assists this season? For me, it's as clear as that if Arsenal are going to go to Newcastle and sign one player, it could be Bruno Guimaraes. But according to Sami Mokbel, at the top of Arteta's wishlist is Alexander Isak. A move for the Swede has almost universal backing from those behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium. Well-placed sources have told BBC Sports that Isak would be open to a move to London, which of course depends though on the most important factor. Will Newcastle get Champions League football? With games against Chelsea, Arsenal and Everton, currently 4th place in the Premier League, a point behind City in 3rd and 4 behind Arsenal, the only way that Arsenal sign Isak is if they don't qualify. So with a game at the Emirates Stadium coming up, if Arsenal want any chance to sign Isak, there has to be a must-win game. In terms of the other options, according to the Telegraph, Andrea Berta is understood to be keen on signing Victor Gyökeres. The striker is expected to prioritise Arsenal over Man United, who continue to show interest in him. And the thing that stands out is how many times we've heard Andrea Berta's name. Clearly a massive fan of Victor Gyökeres, from all the way back at Atletico Madrid. Gyökeres is a striker that does have excellent ball striking, having scored 52 goals this season, 38 in 31 Portuguese games. The numbers are in his favour, but you also have to look at the Portuguese league. With the likes of Nunes, Bastos and so many prior thriving as well, how many of those players have translated towards the Premier League? It's a question that you have to keep asking, despite Gyökeres being a fantastic financial opportunity. Reportedly available for around 60 million euros, quite a bit under his release clause. According to Sami Mokbel, sources are saying that Gyökeres is a more economical signing than even Benjamin Sesko, a long-time target of Arsenal who tried to sign last summer, having once again scored 20 goals this season. In a recent report coming out of Germany, Sesko's release clause has been confirmed, at now exceeding 80 million euros. A report that also claims that Sesko could leave without the clause. A transfer fee would be negotiable, depending on the payment structure. Wages are also going to play a part, with Sesko earning close to £100,000 a week. Gyökeres only 40. Both are strikers that I do believe improve Arsenal, but at the same time we cannot be cheapskating. At a stage of the project where we are demanding silverware, having invested so much in the midfield and the defence, we have to keep that same standard going forwards. Sign the best of the best to improve your team next season. For Arsenal fans and strikers, it is going to be a very long summer, but one thing that has been confirmed is our first summer signing. Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad, a long pursued target of Mikel Arteta, last year so close to joining Liverpool, but rejecting them at the last opportunity. Now we've got a Fabrizio Romano, here we go, confirming that Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Here we go. Zubimendi has now verbally agreed to sign a long-term deal, so formal steps must follow soon, with Arsenal set to trigger a €60 million release clause. Zubi is ready to become the first signing of the new season, a player that has won position in the midfield third more times than any other player in La Liga since the start of 2022-23. The real quality comes on the ball. As Xavi Alonso once said, Zubimendi has the ability to generate play, to make those around him better, always offering solutions to improve the move. He understands what the next step is before the ball gets to him. He has the ability to organise the axis. So despite Alonso going to Real Madrid, reports in Spain claiming that Real Madrid were going to make a move, Arsenal's work behind the scenes has paid off. A signing that we heard all the way back in January will now be the first in a major summer of 2025. But what about the future of William Saliba after another fantastic performance in the Champions League, thriving in Paris to the highest stage? According to L'Equipe, Andrea Berta is convinced that Real Madrid are trying to plant a seed in William Saliba's mind, so to make sure that he does not leave on a free, like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Berta has initiated contract extension talks with the defender, with even more reports coming out of Spain, saying that Real Madrid want Dean Huijsen now, another defender on Arsenal's radar, as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. The key for me this summer is going to be getting our priorities straight. We've talked about a goalkeeper in Joan Garcia, a defensive arrival in Dean Huijsen, but we need to improve our front line first. Get whatever striker you want as soon as possible, so that player has the maximum time to get into the team and have a full pre-season. Now our focus turns to our final 3 games of the season, starting off with a trip to Anfield on Sunday. Liverpool of course champions, and that of course poses Arsenal a major dilemma. Are we going to give them a guard of honour? Well, according to ex-Watford player Troy Deeney, Arsenal should refuse to give Liverpool a guard of honour. That would really set down a marker for next season. No more Mr. Nice Guys. But according to other reports, Arsenal will be giving it. It's minute, it doesn't really matter. It will definitely hurt a few egos. So Arsenal fans, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. With only 3 games left of what has been a painful season, where do we go next? And what is one major change that you think needs to happen? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, and the links are down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today. After the painful result against Paris Saint-Germain, we're out of the Champions League, and now we've only got 1 remaining goal for the season. Secure Champions League football and leave this year full of so much pain with just a little bit of dignity. My friends, I'll see you guys next time. Take care and in a bit.